Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ahlan wa sahlan, guys. My name is Jack Zaman. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, enjoying yourselves. My throat's getting a bit messed up today, guys. So I think remember I was telling you guys that I haven't been getting ill for a long time. Well, it looks like I am getting ill. So I'm human after all, guys. So yeah, so I just got a sore throat, coughing all day, and hopefully I won't get a temperature. How are you guys? Everyone okay? Enjoying yourselves? Enjoying this nice Saturday? Are you guys waiting for the football? Welcome everybody. Azmal wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Muhammad wa alaikum assalam. Zuhaib. If a person makes fun jokes about the beard, how serious is it a Muslim making jokes? It depends on it. I mean, if it's just like it depends exactly how they. If they are belittling it because it's a sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then that's bad. But if it's just a general joke, then it's fine. It's not considered to be sinful. It's like someone making fun of someone wearing slippers, or someone making fun of someone wearing a shalwar kameez, just like that. Wa alaikum assalam, Abu Bakr, ahlan wa sahlan. Muhammad, wa alaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah. Long time, my brother. Long time. Long time, my brother. You haven't honored us with your presence. Irfan, wa alaikum assalam. Ahlan wa sahlan. Ameen, Jazakallah khair. Muhammad, looks like you gave you the look. Yeah, no, so my hair is a bit, as you can see, a bit messed up today, sweaty hair. All this week I've been doing my 10,000 steps, but unfortunately today I didn't do 10,000 steps. I was a bit busy, had to go a few places, and I just didn't get time. So I'm going to have to make those up. They say you have to do about 70,000 steps a week if you want to see any positive results in weight loss. Yeah, so 70,000 steps is about 10,000 a day. All right, let me just go on Instagram, guys. You like, Muhammad, you like the sign at the top? ROK, rock. Now it looks like a proper YouTuber. Yeah, a proper YouTuber. Drinking Zamzam standing up is... Don't understand. Is that a trick question or is that... I don't understand your question. Al-Ainu haqq. Allah. Don't worry. I've read my 3 quls. Alhamdulillah. But yeah, everyone should protect themselves from it. Oh, by the way, guys, guess what I bought last week? I bought this last week, mashallah. Right, so this is basically there was an event I went to, and they were auctioning this, and I won the auction, alhamdulillah. That's all the money is going to Gaza. So, win-win. Win-win, guys. I'm thinking of where to put it. What do you guys think? I should hang it up. You can maybe hang it by the back, yeah? So, alhamdulillah. Okay, why is this not working? Wa alaikum assalam. Tayyib, ahlan wa sahlan. The rock at the back looks, you like it, yeah? Alhamdulillah. With all your du'as, guys. It's all your du'as. When reading books, not studying, should we make notes while doing so? Yes. I was going to make notes, but now I have been stuck on one book for a few weeks. So it depends what kind of book you're reading. If it's a book where there's some sort of like some benefit that you can gain from it, like facts that you can learn from it, then what I would suggest is don't learn more than one fact from each page. Yeah. So what you do is you read a chapter, and then you make some notes on the side of your book, and then you go back, and then those notes you maybe on a separate piece of paper write them out again, and that way you can make notes, or you can highlight things. But if it's a book which is just like an enjoyable reading book, then you don't have to make notes. Not speaking to a Muslim brother more than 3 days, work-related, the person. I apologize, Brother Zuhaib. You're going to have to be very specific about your question, because you're saying things I'm not sure exactly what your question is. So if you can be a bit more specific about your question. Inshallah, the sign looks you like it, yeah? Alhamdulillah. I can do different colors as well. Yeah, this is like fancy color this is. I told you the other mode it's got, which is music mode. Music mode basically means if I put some nasheeds on, according to the nasheed sound, it will actually light up. Shafi, Ameen, Ameen. Any tips to improve tarkeeb? Start from the basics. Honestly, start from the basics, and then build yourself up. Right? Do not jump into hard tarkeeb. Start with small words, small phrases, and then build yourself, and that's how you're going to improve it. That's what I focus on in my Arabic grammar tarkeeb course on my uruk.com. Sign it like a beautiful painting, mashallah. Ameen, Ameen. Enjoy badminton tomorrow, Ustad. Inshallah. Who's that? Is that Mu'in? Yeah, tomorrow's badminton, guys. I'm going to play badminton tomorrow. Haven't played for a little while. So yeah, inshallah, the boys are going to be playing badminton. Inshallah, hopefully I'll feel good. Mufti Sahab, a few days ago there was a post on your social media in which you explained that why there isn't an ultimate Hanafi book. Lots of people commented, why do you... Okay, so basically, look, so let me explain this, guys. Let me explain this to you. First, you have to understand, how does Hanafi madhab work? So give me a few couple of minutes here, guys, because you have to listen carefully to this. And those of you guys who want to take clips out of my videos, yeah, please make sure you start taking your clip out from here. So first of all, the Hanafi madhab is like, if you had let's say, for example, imagine could take the Hanafi madhab and dissect it. You're going to come across the core of the Hanafi madhab, right? The core, like a core of an apple. The core of the Hanafi madhab, or imagine it like a tree, right? So the trunk of the tree is the Hanafi madhab. These are the sayings regarding Imam Abu Hanifa and his students. That is the ultimate, why we call it Hanafi madhab. If you take that out, it's no longer Hanafi madhab. So that's the core that has to be there. So that's like the whole structure, the thread that goes through the entire school. Then, as the years go by, what happens is scholars, then they take this core, but these guys in the core have not explained everything that there is. They've explained like I said, the core, right? The fundamentals aspects of each chapter. Wudu and tayammum and ghusl and zakat and nikah, talaq, all these things. They've discussed the main sort of like issues. So now what happens is, what if they haven't discussed something? So later scholars will come, like imagine this tree now. You add branches, branch here and a branch here and a branch here. They begin to elaborate. Maybe if Abu Hanifa was alive today, he would have said this about this particular masala. Maybe if he was alive today, he would have said this. So these, like the second layer of the Hanafi school, is a much less, holds much less weight than the core. Yeah, that's why I said you guys got to listen to this carefully. Otherwise it's going to go over your head. Now what happens is, what's the status of their statements then? So the status of their statements is not like the early ones, because these their statements can differ. One might have a branch coming out, another one says, I disagree with you, and he branches off from this side. Another one branches off from this side. So you can have 3 or 4 opinions regarding a particular masala from the early school. Then even then, so now the later ones come after them, and then they take the statement of this branch, and then they branch it off further, like twigs that branch off. So you see what's happening? So eventually you end up with this tree now. So all these books, imagine each branch or twig is like a book that's been written. These books that have been written, these are books that are attempting, according to their understanding, to interpret what the early Hanafis would have said about the what Abu Hanifa and Abu Yusuf and Muhammad would have said. That's why any book that is written, it cannot be an ultimate book, because it's an attempt to interpret something which they didn't talk about, most likely, in a way that's for that particular time. So each branch represents a time in history as well. The further you go out the branch, the closer we are to our time. So all these books that are written later on is ultimately an interpretation. It's an attempt. That's why there's no ultimate book, because if there was an ultimate book, it would mean we could scrap this whole tree and we could just take this. But we can't do that. So when you study Hanafi madhab, when you study iftar especially, this is what you learn. You learn how this whole history. So what I tell the students usually is take every masala and do a timeline. And in that way, what would happen is you'll realize, did the early Hanafis talk about this masala? And if they didn't, where did this masala actually come about? Okay, it's actually Instagram has just disappeared. Yeah, so that's basically what happens. So this is why when people say to me, Radd al-Muhtar is the ultimate, it's not the ultimate book. It cannot be the ultimate book. Because if it was the ultimate book, Hanafis do not need to read any other book and just read this. And no Hanafi, no expert Hanafi has ever said that. But what tends to happen is people who are not familiar with the Hanafi book, because they read fatwas and they see Radd al-Muhtar repeatedly mentioned, they assume that Radd al-Muhtar must hold a very significant status in the Hanafi timeline, history. And that's why they keep going back to it. But that's not the case. Does that make sense? Today, lemon and honey. Lemon and honey. Basically, this guy wanted to know why we drink Zamzam standing up. Oh, so you can drink it sitting or standing. So the reason they say it's good to drink it standing is because the Prophet ﷺ, when he went for Hajj or Umrah, he drank it standing. Now, does that mean he did it standing to show the Ummah that you should do it standing? Or did he do it because his legs were tired? This is where the scholars differ. I'm not Mu'een. Oh, so you are the other guy, the doctor. Sweeter man, wa alaikum assalam. You wanted a reminder regarding grapeseed oil as an ingredient products like moisturizer. So, grapeseed oil. So look at this. When they make wine, right? What they do is basically go through a procedure, isn't it? So you get grapes, you put it into a machine, and then you crush all the grapes, and then so you're going to get juice and you get pulp, right? So what they do is they separate the juice, separate the pulp. That pulp now goes and is used for other things, whether they use it for animal feed or whether they use it, to extract the seeds, and then that juice goes to put into a process of making wine now. So therefore, I wouldn't see any problem with grapeseed oil, because grapeseed oil is actually extracted before they actually make wine. So it's not a produce of wine. It's not a byproduct of wine itself. It's a byproduct of the procedure prior to becoming wine. Yeah. So I wouldn't see a problem with that. Yeah. But if the grape seeds were taken out with the wine, which I don't think they do anyway, because I've looked up this procedure and I haven't found anywhere that they take it out with the wine. So the wine is separate, the grape juice is separated, and then that's made into a separate procedure. Right? It's clear, it's clean, it's got no seeds in there. So then there'd be no problem. I've read some fatwas online, people. I disagree with those fatwas. Yeah, because I don't see how. I've spoken to some ulama about this as well, who are into this field, and chemists. That's their background. So they're well versed with this whole procedure. So I think sometimes when people write fatwas and they're not really familiar with the procedure, and they just look online, Google it, and then they see that they've read this is a byproduct of wine production. They think automatically that they made the wine and they're taking it out of the wine, and that's where I think people get confused. Please make our fiqh exam easy. MashaAllah. Carry on making dua. Yeah, make dua. See, alhamdulillah, when you do exams, you are going to get closer to Allah. Yeah. if two muftis or two of my teachers differ on something being mufta bihi, who do I follow? Whichever one you want. Totally fine. Yeah, whichever one. As long as they're both upright and they're both knowledgeable, totally fine. Are you held to account for your thoughts? No. I was recently speaking with a student of knowledge and we were discussing about the hadith of Ummah has been forgiven, and then Nafs Satan. But then what about hasad? No, so Imam Ghazali says you're not sinful for hasad, but you're sinful for the actions that manifest from hasad. Yeah, so that's why the hadith says hasad consumes your actions like fire consumes wood. So he says what that means is the action that results in the hasad. So everyone's going to have hasad. You can't control it. I get jealous when I see certain things. You get jealous when you see certain things. But the thing is, it's the next step that you take, isn't it? That's the problem. So I like Imam Ghazali. He explains this in here and also his Usuluddin, Al-Arba'in fi Usuluddin. Who said sinful thinking over and over can be sinful, I think I'm not too sure about that. But then there's sadness and anger, which are also, yeah. So you will not be held accountable for. The only thing that scholars discuss, even the Hanafi madhab discusses this, like someone who indulges in sexual thought, right? Like with a person that's not halal for them, right? What's the ruling for that? Hanafi say they don't really have a ruling on that. The Shafi madhab does. That's why Ibn Abidin rahimahullah inclines towards the Shafi statement on this position, which is that it's not allowed. Do stop signs in the Quran have to be followed, like the alif lam? Yes. Yeah. So what I would suggest is if you go online, there's actually lots of resources you can find where people explain. I'm going to do it as well, but not now, later on. About which signs are permanent stops you must stop and which are optional stops. Yeah. So what I would suggest is Google it, type in the rulings of stop signs, and you'll find explanation for those. I mean, just a part of the head disappears inside the woman and so cannot be seen. I don't know. What was the first part of your question, sweeter man? Can't see the first part of your question. Can we make wudu with nabith? So Hanafi say no. Yeah. Unless it's light nabith, like very, very light. Mu'eed wa alaykum as-salam. Can you explain yaqeen a bit? For example, if I had complete certainty that I would pass a test but then failed, wouldn't that undermine the previous belief? No. Certainty means that you are confident about something. It doesn't mean that the outcome is going to be according to your confidence. Like, for example, I could be certain that I'm not going to die if I fall out of a plane. I could, the night before, I could have listened to so many talks and so many, motivational speakers talking about how, you can do it. And then I might fall off the plane and break my leg. So yaqeen is basically the certainty that you have. Now belief, because there is obviously, belief is all to do with your mind, isn't it? It's not something you can see. So you can't see Jannah, you can't see Jahannam. So that's why the belief plays an important role there. I had seen that the global sighting opinion is not found in the Zahir Riwayah. The first mention of it is in Kanz. It is said it was in Asal of Imam Shaybani, but it's nowhere to be found there. You haven't found it anywhere in? Okay, I don't know. I mean, yeah, they generally mention the early books have it. I haven't really kind of looked into. But this is... When the latest scholars say it's Zahir Riwayah, that means Zahir Riwayah. Yeah, Zahir Riwayah. So Zahir Riwayah does not necessarily mean that it has to come in the 6 books of Hanafi Madhab. It can also be an oral Zahir Riwayah. But I will look into this. If you remind me, inshallah, I'll have a look into this. Is Rad al-Muhtar not an important Hanafi book? It's significant, but it's not the ultimate book. I have seen articles called it a primary reference fatwa. I would disagree with that. Wa alaikum assalam. Ahla wa sahlan TMZ. How are you? Alhamdulillah. I can't complain. I hope you're well. Can you give us syllabus for sarf after learning the tables? What I would suggest is, this is what I do. I don't go too much into sarf, right? Because the aim of sarf is for you to be able to pick up any Arabic book and to identify a verb and to be able to break it down and all the rules. So as long as you can do that, you do not need to study any more sarf. Right? If you can't do that, you need more than studying the books. You need to study application. That's more than anything, and that's where the teacher that is. So normally I would encourage students, because this is how I studied. I said 2 years I studied sarf. That's it. I studied my own teacher. He made his own notes. Right, every day we'd memorize those notes for 1 year, and the second year we did ilm al-sigha. That's all we did. I also later on did a bit of Shafi'ah, Ibn Hajar Shafi'ah, but that wasn't really that important. It was just more theoretical there. So I would suggest, TMZ, I think you probably have a problem with application. That's your main problem, and a lot of students have that. So try to get yourself a teacher who can help you implement more than anything. Pray not for easy lives, but pray to be stronger, man. Allahu Akbar. That's a good saying, this. Wa alaikum assalam. Ahla wa sahlan, Ramiz. You're welcome, Irfan. Mahir, wa alaikum assalam. I hope you're well for Sarf exam first year. How will the Ustad say the questions? Would it be, for example, I have no idea. You'd have to ask I don't know how the Sarf teacher does the exam. So if you contact him, maybe he'll be able to help you, inshallah. I mean, I don't know if he's going to do oral exam or is it a written exam. Is alcohol in products najis? It depends. If the alcohol is made from grapes or dates, then it will be, otherwise it's not. Amjad Ilahi wa alaikum assalam, my brother. Long time no see. I missed that Coca-Cola, bro. I mean, if we fly out from UK at 9 a.m. and reach our destination at 7 p.m., how do we calculate Zuhur, Asr, and Maghrib? Try your best, I would say. Try your best. So what you can do is you can, try to find out what time the Zuhur is going to be at the location that you're. It's going to be difficult, isn't it? I mean, there used to be an app, I can't remember what it was called, where you can actually just put in your times of where you're flying and where you're going to go, and it will tell you at what time Zuhur is going to start. I think if you Google it, you might find something. But this is what I normally do. So usually on the plane, if it's a Muslim kind of country plane, you can say airlines, they usually tell you. If you ask the stewardess, you say, "Can you tell me the prayer times?" They'll tell you. If that's not possible, then you can estimate it roughly. So delay it as much as you can. I would say delay the salah as much as you can, as long as it's not sunset, and then pray that time. سئل أعرابي هل يحرك الإبط فقال لو تحرك الإبط لظهر نتنه وهو كعبات. I think it's supposed to say like لو يحرك الإبط. I think it's like the ba on the harak on the ba. Is it supposed to be a sakin, ibt, or is it ibit? Yeah, that's what he's trying to say. And then the answer was, the Bedouin obviously gave a nice Bedouin answer. Regarding the diacritics markings in the Quran, what if a hafiz is not used to praying with the correct signs? I mean, as long as he can read the Quran properly, it's fine. Some people who've never seen a Quran, but they memorized it. Is it still sinful to not follow it? First part of the question below. It's still not coming up, my brother. I have no idea why. Maybe you're putting some word in there where the chat is blocking it. So sometimes the chat's on like a strict mode where certain words you put into there, it blocks them. So it doesn't show the message. So whatever you see on the screen on the side is what I see. Alex Farm, wa alaikum assalam. Just wanted to drop by and give my appreciation to the Sarf video, especially the paper cutting. Please bring this back. I was so looking forward to every video. My brother, inshallah, because you mentioned it, inshallah, I will think about it, inshallah. Inshallah. You like the cutting, yeah, the sound. Inshallah. I'm not speaking to this manager because he embarrassed me, and in the back of my mind, I understand that not talking for 3 days, etc., is bad, but this guy does kind of stress me out. Yeah, then it's fine. So the not talking is only in situations where there's not a genuine reason for it. If there's a genuine reason, like someone is sinful, extremely sinful, this drug dealer is sinful, the Muslim, and you're not going to talk to him because you want to show that what he's doing is wrong, then it's fine. Okay, Instagram people, let's see what you got. Does Jalalain feel different when you understand the grammar? Because I don't understand the grammar at all. Yeah, that's tafsir is like that. So how is dad supposed to be pronounced? So dad, you get your tongue and you got to put the two sides of your tongue, press them against the inside of your teeth, the upper teeth. Da. Practice it. Da, like that. Yeah, so generally, I would say Jalalain, it depends on which side you study as well. But generally, in Jalalain, there's a lot of qira'at that you need to be familiar with, and also grammar. Grammar is important as well. I don't see why madrasas teach Jalalain, honestly. I've studied it all, but I don't see the importance of it. I think something like maybe Tafsir Baydawi is probably very good. It's more detailed, it's more in depth. It's an old exam, but no worries, you're welcome. Abu Bakr, have you ever heard that the best thing to do is fast 9th, 10th, and 11th of Muharram rather than the 10th along with the day? Yes. Some of the Hanafis even mentioned that. Ibn Qayyim mentions it in his Zad al-Ma'ad. So they say 10th, 9th, 11th, or 9th and 11th, or the 10th, one of the 2 days, or just the 10th on its own. Oh yeah, I forgot questions. I've got questions. Curious cat, isn't it? None of you guys, mashallah, reminding me. Kya baat hai, yaar? Kya baat hai? Okay, all right. Okay, why is my Twitter not coming on? 1 second, guys. Let me just check this. Give me a second, guys. Sabr, guys. Okay, let's see if it's gonna work now. Okay, not sure why this is not working, but chalo. Okay, sorry, question, but need to ask. Does the complete head of the male organ need to disappear in the woman to make ghusl necessary upon the man? Yes. According to Hanafi madhab, the tip of the organ, basically where a person normally gets circumcised, that much has to enter. Can one marry a woman who do not pray? Yes. Yeah, you can marry her, inshallah. Same question mentioned earlier. Okay, I'm from Sheffield. If you drive in the car, there are 2 ways to get to Manchester, one by Snake Pass or Woodhead, and other by motorway. If you were to take the Snake Pass route, how many miles is it through that route? So Bina al-Af'al and Tasrif al-Izzi would cover the majority of what is needed? Yes, it should do. As long as you covered that, then you should be fine, inshallah. Qasr by motorway, it would be qasr. Yeah, so if you basically whatever route you take, as long as you have covered the normal distance for qasr, that's fine, even if the other route is shorter. Yeah. Wa alaikum assalam. Hassan, ahlan wa sahlan, my brother. Hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Okay, let's check Curious Cat, guys. Let me just do some of these questions. Let me change this back a bit. Is that better? Okay, during Ramadan, since I need to hide that I'm a Muslim, I will only be able to fast on certain days, if any at all. Do you have to make up those days by feeding those? You need to make them up later on in the year, whenever is easy for you. SubhanAllah, look at that. Some people have to hide their fasting from their family. May Allah make it easy for them. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Many high street perfume brands such as Chanel have alcohol in them. My question is, yeah, these are all fine. Can we wear these? Assalam, yes to all. Yeah, so these kind of alcohol is fine. It's not the prohibited alcohol. It's just the CHO, any chemical compound that contains CHO is fine. Wa alaikum assalam. I have been questioning my religion and leaning towards atheism because all of these seems to be ridiculous. What should I do? Okay, so this guy needs to contact Lighthouse Mentoring. Alaikum salam. This is a very good resource, inshallah. You can have one-to-one with them about problematic issues that you face with Islam. Yeah, and obviously people are going to have, remember this, don't be embarrassed if you have doubts about Islam. Don't feel embarrassed about anything. It's just a natural thing. You are going to get this. It's just about trying to find the answers in it. So are you saying just the tip has to enter, or the tip? Basically, I mean, I'm sure you're a man and you know what the area of the circumcised part of the penis is, basically. Just that part has to enter, that's all. Not the whole organ. What if you don't know the miles with the train? Then you do full. If you're not sure, then you do full. Wa alaikum assalam, A40, all right? Does popping acne pimples break one wudu? If blood comes out, yes. Otherwise, no. If blood or pus comes out. Before praying, I did what the Prophet ﷺ told us to do to get rid of devil that tries to disrupt prayers, and it worked. I really could. But after finishing, I said, "Thank you, O Prophet of Allah," as in thank you. No, it's totally fine. Inshallah. Is it haram to scam scammers? He scanned my account and sold it to someone, and I got the account back. I found a cheat. He paid a lot for it. What do I do? It doesn't belong to you, so you can't profit off it. Unless you lost money in the process of his scam, in which case you can reimburse yourself the equal amount, and the rest is his. Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I have this job offer working in a place, however, majority of the revenue made is from alcohol sales. So I may be checking it out for people that buy it. Does this mean my income is haram? I'm a Hanafi, I asked my alim teacher, he said it's haram. I just want to very harsh. Okay, Assalam. Can you describe in detail what your job entails? Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'll inshallah try to watch your Saturday live stream. You can answer it there if it's more convenient. Start, I can watch later. Can I remove a non-biological son of my father born outside of wedlock but recognized by my dad? We're Hanafi. If DNA evidence proves he's not related to us, after the father having recognized him incorrectly before his death, would that be, according to the Hanafi madhab, considered ghasab, so unlawfully taking the background information? My father would not allow a non-biological child to inherit from him, but we live in a secular country, so I want to know whether Islamically it would be. Okay, I need more explanation. I need more details. I need more details about this because it's to do with the rights of other people. Normally, you should go to Islamic Council and get it all cleared up there, because it's not just like an issue you can just ask a scholar over the phone and then act upon it, because it's to do with the rights of other people. So you don't want inadvertently to be harming other people's rights. Yeah, so these kind of questions, remember this, guys. If you have any question which is related to another human being, you must get it fully clarified without any ambiguity. You need to be very clear exactly what's happened, because these are things, and especially when it comes to money and things like that as well, very, very important. Not just being very vague and saying my father has it. What does it mean by Islamically? Let's say, for example, there's a man and he has a wife. Even if she's fornicated with another man and the child is totally different, as long as that man is married to her, it's still legally his child. That child will inherit from him and everything, even if he knows the child is not mine. That's to preserve the family unit. And if this individual wants to denounce this child, then he has to go through court to denounce the child. It's a procedure called li'an, and this effectively annuls the marriage. So the marriage gets annulled, the child's lineage is taken away from the father, and the child does not inherit from the father, and the father not from the child. But it has to be done at a certain time. Learning. Salam. Is it permissible? Alaikum salam. Is it permissible to pray Asr Salah at Shafi times for ease? Hanafi. If there's a need for it, yes. You're welcome, my brother Hassan. I hope you're well. What's the expiation for following violations during Hajj? It depends exactly what you've done. So I would suggest that I've got a whole chapter on this in my Kuduri, where I explain different things that you've done. So plucked a single hair out of my head, I forgot it was an ihram, then you don't have to do anything for that. Just give a few pounds in charity. That's it. I'm not sure if one of the stones fell into the pit when I was this fine. Yeah, it's fine, inshallah. Yeah. Is drop shipping allowed? So it depends how drop shipping is done. As long as you can guarantee that the customer is going to get the item, and if anything happens, then the person will be recompensed for that. Then it's considered to be fine. Yeah. Wa alaikum assalam, SC1, ahlan wa sahlan. Is it correct that it is blessed to spend one on one's family on the day of Ashura? I came across, there's a narration regarding it. Yeah, there's a narration regarding it. So some of the scholars say that it's recommended to do so. So basically, spending on your family, buying them things on the day of Ashura. What about if I'm working in London and then on the way back, the guy does Zuhur Salah and Asr Salah together? So can I do that as well? Do I have to wait until? If you find it difficult to wait till Asr time, it's going to become very inconvenient. Then you can do it, inshallah. If you're in a mosque where the back hall is slightly to the right or left of Imam, do you begin the row from the middle or whichever middle? Yeah, so you begin it from the middle, inshallah. I'm assuming that what you mean is that there's like a separate room or something, yeah? Well, Sheikh, I'm very good, alhamdulillah, my brother. Hafiz Saab, I hope you're enjoying yourself. You haven't heard any of your nasheeds and nuts recently. What do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer me having just this light in the background, or do you prefer me having all those other lights? What do you think looks better? Let me know. Okay, just before making ghusl, my nose hurt. I didn't hit it, so I don't know why it hurt. So I decided to check for blood with a tissue. Like 10 seconds afterwards, there was no blood. While making ghusl, my nose hurt when I was washing, but I believe this was because I sniffed at water. On it. Was this fine? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, if I want to begin a political ideology and laws, do the laws necessarily have to be with the Sharia, or how would it work? If I want to begin a political ideology and laws, so yes, they would ultimately have to be within the limits of Sharia. Are names of royalty haram? No. Okay. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi. If is the name Rama haram? It is a name of a Hindu idol, but there are people who call the sheet on the Kaaba. I'm asking this because I know someone with the name. I asked their relative. So as long as a name has a good meaning in that particular language, it's fine to keep. Can you write calligraphy when you're on your period? Yes, but don't. But if it's a verse of the Quran, make sure you don't touch it with your skin. Okay, ruling on making product that can be used in haram and halal. What would it? If I know, can you be more specific? Say someone is going on holiday more than 15 days, so he will be muqim, and the masjid is around 1 kilometer from his house. His parents are non-practicing, so they will probably not allow him to go to the masjid. Does he still have to go despite what his parents say? Yeah. In that case, he can pray at home. Is there a ransom required if one cannot perform Hajj because they cannot afford it? No. Is passing wind during dhikr offensive? No. Okay, so if a child is born out of wedlock zina when both parents were married and more than 3 months of pregnancy have passed, does such a child inherit too? Yes. Does the unity principle apply here too? Yes. So the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-waladu lil firash, meaning the child belongs to the guy who owns the marriage, i.e. the husband. So the guy who owns the marriage is considered to be al-firash. So as long as they're married, even if he knows his wife has been fornicating and has had a child out of wedlock, then the child is still his. Okay, Muhammad Bilal. I have no idea what you're saying. السلام عليكم يا أستاذ كيف الحال؟ الحمد لله أنا بخير يا جنيد أهلا وسهلا. كيف الاستعداد للامتحان؟ The Apostle وعليكم السلام أهلا وسهلا. What is the best place to find Imam Muhammad's aqwal regarding Arkan as-Salat and leaving it? The best place to find Imam Muhammad would be in Imam Muhammad's books. So you probably best place to go is Al-Asl and to go to Al-Jami al-Saghir and maybe Jami al-Kabir as well. Probably Jami al-Kabir won't have it. Asl, Jami al-Saghir. These are the two places you can go to, inshallah. Or alcohol in products najis only if they're made from grapes or dates. Otherwise, if they're made from other substances, they're not. Ya Allah. Have I finished all the questions on the Curious Cat? Let me check. Okay, walaikum assalam. Please send a link for the information about timings of Isha and Fajr. Assalam. I'm not sure what link you're referring to. Walaikum assalam. Does the hair on the head above the ears need to be washed as well, as this is part of the hair on the head to which the sideburns are connected? Does the hair on the head above the ears need to be washed? Wassalam. Some of you guys ask very cryptic questions. Okay, assalam. In ghusl, all hair must be washed on the body. Can a person send salams on behalf of another person to the Prophet ﷺ? Yes. Totally fine. Okay, can a woman do ghusl for her husband? Do you mean deceased husband? Then yes, she can. Salam. Some dry pimples, very small ones, may fall off once scratch their face. Would it affect the wudu? Salam. No. I thought walad zina doesn't inherit. If it's outside them, walad zina doesn't inherit. Let's say, for example, there's a man and there's a woman, and this man has fornicated with a different woman, and she has a child. That child is walad zina. But if this wife has fornicated, then this child is not considered to be waladul zina in this case. Does that make sense? I said Bilal in the reference to Prayer Times app. It's called Bilal, yeah? If I'm not sure if they are made from... okay, so the app's called Bilal. Bilal app. Okay. Interesting. Jazakallah khair. If I'm not sure if they are made from dates or grapes, then it's fine. Then the asal is everything is pure unless proven otherwise. Alhamdulillah, أنا جاهز الامتحانات أريد أن أكون الأول في الفصل إن شاء الله. Inshallah. Is having a picture of a dragon wearing any clothing with a dragon on it haram? I would say if it's a large image meaning a size of your hand, then it would not be. It should be avoided. And if you pray salat with it, then there'll be karahat. In prayer of a male, is it okay if some of the lower back gets exposed in sajda? According to Hanafi madhab, if it's accidental, then, and it's only for a short while, then it's fine. Otherwise, no. So lower back, you mean below the navel? Yeah. So below the navel, the backside it shows. Some guys, unfortunately, when they pray salat, they wear trousers and t-shirt, and then that exposes. Yeah, Allah. Okay. If you bleed and then like 1 minute later you check and found no blood, so you make wudu, do you need to check again? No. And I know people who suffer from waswasa, they keep having these thoughts. They cut themselves. Is it offensive, disrespectful to change one's clothing in a room with Islamic books? No, not at all. The R looks like a P, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Yeah, I might have to fiddle around with that. It looks like Bok. Yeah, I was thinking that as well. I'm going to try to fiddle around with it, see what I can make of it. My mother went to the shop and purchased clothing. She paid it partially by a gift card, and she was meant to pay around £30 remainder. The assistant was young, and she said my mom only had to pay £6. When we got home, it definitely seemed that the assistant computer miscalculated it. We couldn't go back to the shop. What should we do with the £24 that was underpaid? Should we donate to charity? Try to reach out to the shop through the customer service. Otherwise, you can give it in charity. Omer, wa alaikum assalam, ahla wa sahlan, Maulana. Hope all is well. Very good. Thank you very much, my brother. Do you think it's important for students nowadays to have good access to the internet, or is using physical? No, I think students should have access to internet and books as well. Yeah, physical books and internet. I think it's fine as long as they basically can access the book. That's the most important thing. Any upcoming courses planned at Sufa? I'm supposed to be doing one in October, but I haven't really kind of thought about the topic yet. I'm thinking about a few things. It's a separate room, but it's in such a way that the people in the room can see the Imam. So I was assuming to start the row from whichever side is close to the Imam. That's possible. Generally, the rule is that you start from the middle of the saf. That's where you generally start from. About pus or blood, if they stop completely or sometime, then burst or start bleeding from the same spot again, are both instances considered together or separately? Separately. If someone has a book with a full portrait on the cover on a table and the book is facing the ceiling upwards and the table is in the chair, no need to repeat. Because the thing is that that book is considered to be غير محترم, right? So there's no ihtiram in that. There's no, honoring the particular image. So I wouldn't see a problem with that. Okay, let's see if there's any more. Okay, I work in a shop and we get limited set breaks. Can I do qada for prayers as it would be impossible to read them all day? Okay, what times can you get a break? Salam, there is an online job where if you write subtitles for videos, you get $3 to $12 per hour. Is this work halal if the subtitles I'm writing for is a woman, probably non-Muslim, and they don't know about aura? The creator is using music in his videos, and if there are any other clauses that would make my earning haram, so let me know. In essence, the earning would not be haram, but if it's the majority of subtitles that you make, then it must be avoided. So if it's like a one-off thing that you're doing, but if it's the majority that you're making, and you clearly know that they're going to put it up like that, then I would say it's best to avoid. Otherwise, the earning would not be considered haram. Last couple of days, I've been praying in this shirt, which has a slight bit of small, but physically bit small, which was a slight bit small, but physically I didn't realize. So today, before Isha Salah, I just tested it out to see if my back shows while wearing it. I realized it does a bit, maybe like 2 to 5 centimeters, depending on my trousers. So I've been wearing the shirt for the last couple of days before. Okay, would my Salah be valid? Okay, so no, it won't be valid if you didn't know. But from now on, if it does happen, then it will be invalid. So no, it won't be invalid if you didn't know. But from now on, if it does happen, then it will be invalid. So if ladies' ankles or wrists show in Salah due to wearing leggings or fitted long sleeves, no. Okay. Okay, let's check this guy. You guys are over here. If someone do you need to wash the hair near the forehead or near the eyebrows on the two sides of the head as well, since technically they are within the width of the ears? Are you talking about wudu? What's your question about? In wudu, you have to wash everything that basically is skin. So everywhere skin is, you must wash it. And if it's eyebrows that are thin, where you can see the skin underneath, then you got to wash them as well. Yeah, so all of that. And if it's beard, you don't have to. You just have to pass your fingers through it. Okay, so Insta, I'm gonna go off, guys. Take care. Just go off Instagram, guys. Okay, I'm not sure why this is not. Okay. We went to eat at a restaurant in Star City last week. The bill given missed an item which I noticed after paying. Would it be necessary to tell the restaurant I did and made further payment? Yeah, it would be. Morally, it would be right to tell them. Okay, Ustad, what are the guidelines for something being gambling? So something being gambling is basically where one or more people put money together and one of them or some of them walk away with the money. That would be gambling. Can you tell us an incident that taught you something? An incident that taught me something. What taught me something? I think that's a good question. You're the only one that asked me these questions. Okay, I would say something that taught me something is always take benefit from other people. Always have the intention that you want to learn at least one thing. So I was saying in the talk last week, and the Sheikh al-Bukhari Khatami was saying that one of his teachers would say, I always make an intention that I want to learn one thing from anyone that I sit with. That way you humble yourself. So I think that is possibly one of the most important things, especially for students of knowledge, to remember that you can always learn things from other people. I wish I could know all of you guys and could learn things from you guys. But yeah, I think that's, what do you guys think? Are the jar guessing games done at charity fundraisers gambling? So how does it work? If you can explain to me how, I don't know how the jar guessing game works. Is it where you have money in a jar and you have to guess how much money is in it? Is that what it is? I've got a relative who gave her newborn baby to her sister-in-law's family who are unable to produce a child. So does that sister-in-law need to breastfeed that baby in order for her to become his mahram? So technically, if it's sister-in-law, that means the child already becomes the mahram, isn't it? Yeah, because it's the auntie, the child's auntie. So there's also already mahramiyat there. But yes, obviously to make it more mahram for even the husband, then in that case, then it would be important to breastfeed, or at least a few drops of milk go down the throat of the child. Walaikum assalam, Zed Sahib, sanga hal de zamaror, der mudasha wada yara, to karake gamna. Spome peshanti dasi, ghaibshe. Walaikum assalam, ahla wa sahla, my brother Emullah. What's the latest? How's the new job, bro? Any courses or talks so far over the summer? Unfortunately, not in the summer. Yeah, so maybe summertime would be good to do some. I was thinking maybe like in the summer, maybe do like some intensive. What do you guys think? Mantik course. I'm writing up mantik at the moment. I've been into mantik, so I'm writing up on mantik, and I was thinking maybe do something on mantik. Kya khayal hai? Are artificial ways jaiz as well in order to her to take the milk? Yes. So she can take tablets that cause her to express milk. But I would advise speaking to the doctor because some of these can have very bad effects on the woman's hormones and all that. Innahu qadim al-manzil. Tarkeeb, my brother, tarkeeb. What do scholars say about salah in the haram since the imam prays a distance behind the Kaaba and nowadays people pray 360? So the rule around the Kaaba is this. Whichever direction the imam is in, you can't be ahead of the imam. But all other three directions, you can be as close as you want to the Kaaba. It's totally fine. So this is only a rule which is unique to the Kaaba. Yeah. So let's say, for example, the imam is standing at the south of the Kaaba. So anyone who is in that particular side of the Kaaba cannot be ahead of the imam. So those circles that they've made can't be ahead of the imam. Otherwise, everywhere else you can be ahead. I went to a takeaway and the guy didn't have a chicken I ordered. So I said he would give me 4 wings instead. I agreed. I think the guy took like a liking to me and ended up, wah, kya baat hai bhai, I need to come with you next time. But I didn't pay for them. Maybe he did it out of goodwill. Was I allowed to consume? Inshallah. I wouldn't see a problem with that. Yeah, so we would assume that would be something, and the shopkeeper wouldn't really have a problem with that. Is it true that Hanafi say a person praying behind an imam can leave before the imam finishes salat? I've never come across that. I was talking about wudu, so do I need to just pass water, my hands over them instead of... Yes, just pass your wet hands over them, inshallah. If the hair is thick, if the hair is thick, just pass water over them. Okay, so محمد قال أخبرنا أبو حنيفة عن حماد عن إبراهيم في الرجل يجلس خلف الإمام قدر التشهد ثم ينصرف قبل أن يسلم قال يجزئه وقال عطاء ابن إبراهيم. So yujzi basically means that the that the salat would suffice, but it'd be makruh tahrimi. He'd be sinful for it because he has to. Technically, according to Hanafis, up to tashahhud, your salat is done. But if he does leave before that, his salat will technically be done, but it's makruh tahrimi, sinful basically. Why are Alimiya graduations called Bukhari Khatams? No idea, It's most likely because Bukhari is a very famous book. So you could call it a Muslim Khatam. But I think that name stuck now. Everyone quotes it. Is ASI a good institute? I have no idea. I have not studied there, nor do I know people who have studied there to be able to tell me that it's a good place or a bad place. I've heard mixed things about it. Some people said to me that studies are good there. Some people said to me it's not very in-depth. So this is why I don't like to pass judgment on these things. I don't know if anyone else has studied there. Maybe you could comment, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, the job is going beautifully. We had staff sports day. Wow, sports day on Thursday, and my body's still. Allahu Akbar. I need to join your job. The jars contain sweets, money, something people pay to guess how many beans, coins are in the jar, and the end person with the best. I would say no, it should be avoided. That sound like a very gambling scenario, that does. Yeah. The only way around that would be if everyone gave money, donated money, and then this was just considered to be a side thing. This had nothing to do with the amount of money that they've invested in. And that money inside the jar has nothing to do with the money that they put in. Then it'd be permissible. I'd be interested. Mantik course, yeah? Mantik day course. Have you done a course on Buyut before? Not a day course. Why, you think Buyut course would be good? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi, my brother Sharif. Well, ahlan wa sahlan, habibana. Kaif, ya New Jersey man. Where's the other New Jersey boy? My man Masir. Is it okay for someone to pray qadha salas many years after having prayed the current Asr and Fajr? Of course. Wa alaikum assalam. Say a Muslim lady works a job and cannot find an adequate space to pray, but has a small but if someone opens the door, it will hit her. Can she even pray sitting? Yeah, I would say in that situation, if it's going to be dangerous for her, then she can. Also, the mantik will be mantik like that, yeah. I thought they actually finished reading the whole Bukhari, that's why. Yeah, so they do finish the whole Bukhari. So what they do is they finish the whole Bukhari in class, but they leave the last hadith for the teacher, the individual who's going to deliver it. Sheikh, I'm still confused as to how the sister-in-law would be a mahram for the baby if the baby came from her husband's sister. So look, okay. So imagine, if you can break down your scenario for me, this is what I've understood from your scenario. Let's say, for example, I have a wife, and let's say I have me, and let's say, for example, we have a child, and that child, I give it to my wife's sister. That wife's sister is auntie, isn't it? So, like, for example, look at yourself. You got a mum and you got a dad. So your mum's sister is your dad's sister-in-law, isn't it? So your mum's sister is actually your auntie. So if you were given to your auntie is your mahram. The only issue is your auntie's husband would not be your mahram. Does that make sense? So in other words, if you were a girl, you had a mum and dad, and your mum decided to give you to her sister, which is your dad's sister-in-law, that mum's sister is your auntie, isn't it? And auntie is a mahram. But the only problem is your auntie's husband is not your mahram. Make sense? If a person does a makruh tahrim act in Asr Salah, meaning he has to redo the Salah, would it be allowed since Salah after the Asr Salah? Yeah, he can do it again. I found a better terminology for explaining my question. I meant, is washing the hair on the sudagh also fard? So basically, everything that comes under the hairline, so you know your hairline is, anything within the hairline you have to wash. When you go for BJJ, no gi, no robe, or mutai, they make you wear thigh shorts. If someone wears long johns, tights beneath over the shorts, would it be allowed? I wouldn't see a problem with that, because I used to do mutai and I used to wear, the sports leggings, because it's difficult to be able to do all the activities with long shorts on. Have those and have shorts that you'd come almost to my knees. I wouldn't see a problem with that. Muhammad wa alaikum salam, Sheikh. Hope you're well. Can we crochet human figures without the face? I wouldn't see a problem with that. Wa alaikum assalam, Habibana Muhammad Salah. كيف حالكم؟ الحمد لله أنا بخير. أساكم بخير وصحة وعافية. أسأل الله أن يجزيكم عما تقدموا خيرا وأن يرفع قدركم في الدنيا والآخرة. وأسأل الله تعالى الخير والعافية والعفة والفوز برضا الله سبحانه وتعالى في الدنيا والآخرة. Ustad, wouldn't that be very similar to the charity football tournaments that many used? Do people pay an entry? So this is what I was saying to you. This is the permissible scenario for it. When you pay an entry fee, but that entry fee does not go towards the prize money, then that's fine. So if you just take money off people for an entry fee, and that money has nothing to do with the prize, someone else has donated the prize, then that's considered to be okay. Wife's brother, I meant, sorry, Sheikh. Okay, yeah, so that's what I was confused about. So if he gives it to the wife's brother, and if it's a girl, obviously, then that's wife's brother is still uncle. Wife's brother is still uncle, isn't it? So, for example, imagine your mum's brother. You got a mum's brother. That mum's brother is what to you? Is your uncle, isn't it? Mahram. It's totally fine. The only issue is that the mum's brother's wife is not your mahram. Yeah, so your uncle's wife is not your mahram. Do faces where the eyes are just a straight line counted as tasweer? Do they need to be covered in? Do faces where the eyes are just a straight line? So as long as the facial features are not physically visible, and they have to be like large as well. Yeah, large. So the Hanafis usually say the size of your hand. Yeah, the image has the size of your hand. If it's small little images, then that's fine. Mantik might be too hardcore for this. Basically, the baby was given to the wife's brother's family. Yeah, so that, like I explained. Do you follow the opinion that realistic plushes and toys are fine for children who have? Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. Is there any guidance in Islam on what one should do if they purchase land? What I would suggest, Abu Bakr, is study Hanafi fiqh, my brother, because you seem to be a person that dips into website fatwas. I personally think that's a very dangerous way of going about fiqh. The reason it's dangerous is because it can actually create a misconception of what the Sharia is about. Yeah, because unfortunately, not every fatwa website is considered to be valid. Not every fatwa is valid. And sometimes the fatwas can actually come across as saying one thing, but you might misconstrue it. That's why I would say, I know you said last time you're a bit lazy, and but you seriously need to study fiqh properly, because fiqh gives you a structure of how fiqh works. You don't see that in fatwa. Fatwa, all you see is like the fruit of the tree. That's all you see. You only see fruits. You don't see the tree, the branches, and how things work, and how much elasticity there is in fiqh, how much scope there is in fiqh. Is there any guidance? I've been observing this from you, Bakr, for a while now. So you seem to know some stuff, but it seems to be very sort of spaced out what you're learning, like almost like cherry picking masail. Is there any guidance in Islam on what one should do if they purchase land and there are old graves on the land? For example, buying old churches to turn. Yeah. So all you have to do is just remove the remove the bodies in the ground if they're still there, and then you can build over them. What's the ruling on hitting the face or in training? If it's in training, it's fine. If it's physically, then it should be avoided. You're welcome, my brother Azman. No problem. Brother Muhammad, interestingly, was listening to Sheikh Ali Atai. He said Jews don't allow dolls or action figures, etc., unless they have a disfigurement. They make a doll and pluck the nose. Ah, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I like listening to Sheikh Ali Atai. What about crocheting inanimate objects with facial features like a strawberry with a smiley face? Then I wouldn't see a problem with that. Yeah, because basically many of the scholars say if it's something that cannot live in the real life, yeah, if it can't live in the real life, then it's permissible. That's what they say. I like that opinion. Have you come across people that have studied at Ibrahim College, and how have they? Yes, I have come across. You mentioned you went there some years ago. Yeah. So when I went there years ago, it was very good. What happened, if you guys are not familiar with Ibrahim College, it's a madrasa in London. It used to be run by Sheikh Shams al-Duha. Then they had some financial issues, and they had to totally change their whole brand. They had to relocate, and so many things happened. I don't know exactly how it runs now, so I wouldn't really be able to say. But when I visited there in 2017 or 16, it was very good. In fact, Sufa teachers visited the place to get ideas of how they run their courses, because it was really good. At the moment, I don't know. So I wouldn't be able to comment. What I would suggest is speak to someone who's currently studying there. They'll be able to give you a better understanding. And as you guys know, I don't like commenting on anything in a positive way or a negative way unless I know thoroughly about it. Because it's an amana for me to tell you it's a good place or it's a bad place. It's an amana, it's a trust. And when you guys ask me about individuals as well, what do you think about this guy or this guy? It's an amana at the end of the day. And as you guys know, amanas are things that you have to be very careful with. I'm doing a part-time anime class, so it's a bit slow. I just see a lot of questions and become intrigued. Oh, okay. Then it's fine. Why don't you speak to your teacher? What do you get a chance to ask your teacher in class about these questions? Because what it will do is, if you tell your teacher might open up to you or tell you, kind of explain things to you in a better way. I don't mind answering all your questions, but I see sometimes in you guys you have good potential to develop yourselves, but it's like something's holding you back. And I generally want for you guys the best. That's why I have these live streams. See, I've even got sore throat today. I'm feeling under the weather, but I still come on the live streams because I know it's going to benefit you. So what I would suggest is look, just for generally any of you guys who have, you guys can either for the rest of your lives just ask questions to scholars, or start some course, start learning structured fiqh, and that way a lot of your questions will get answered just naturally. What's the meaning of sange? Sange, it means how are you? Start. How would you explain the importance of good speech or text? I'm not sure I understood your question. Okay, the shop is next, a huge corporate high street brand, so it'd be a hassle to explain it all. Would it be rewarding if we went through the hassle? Yeah, in that case, I'm sure you can email them. They will definitely get back to you, and it won't be a hassle. Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be, unless you're like a very introvert person and shy of asking. A 9 and 10-year-old have soft toys with eyes. Is it okay to play with them? Yes. Plus, is ta'aleem reading Fadail A'mal compulsory for them to listen to every day, 30 minutes? No, not necessary. Not necessary. So look, like, what I don't understand. What do you mean? As it necessary? As in, is it good for them to read it? Obviously, in Islam, it's not necessary to listen to any book apart from the Quran. Generally do not have time to ask these kind of questions since we have limited time in class. I see. Ustad, have you seen the book review podcasts by Imam Zakaria Academy with Mona Zishan? I've seen some of them. MashaAllah, very good. I've met Mona Zishan and actually told him about these podcasts. That I was really impressed by the work that they're doing. Is it something you would recommend to young Tulab? Definitely. Mona Zishan is a very capable scholar, like without a doubt. May Allah protect him and reward him, and also Muhammad Nadat, who does the presenting on the podcast. I met him as well. So I would definitely encourage students to watch their podcasts. Currently going over Nul Idha in fiqh though, and my mind is lost in the haze. You're not the only one, my brother. Wa alaikum assalam, my brother Hamim. Some of the late Hanafis who aren't really authorities as far as I know, or not very influential, maybe someone like, if I come across something he says, can I just follow it? No. What I would suggest, my brother Muhammad, I don't know how much you've studied, is what I would suggest is first study Ifta. If you really want to go into this kind of field, you must study some formal study of Ifta. Otherwise, just taking any opinion in the Hanafi school is not right. If on a journey you won't be able to pray Asr standing later on, is it better to pray in Jamaat with a group that combines? Possibly. I've heard some people say that, yeah. Yeah, I've heard some people actually give some have said that if you can't pray, so in this case you'd have three situations. So either you pray, if in that situation you can't pray standing, so you just pray sitting, because there's no other way. then that's out of order, isn't it? Or the other option is that some have said that you just do qada, and some I've heard some say that you can act upon what you just said without referring back to them. No, I wouldn't advise that at all. Alaikum, the monthly lessons seem to be something Allah placed in your heart and mind and given you an express passion towards for a reason, encourage you to press forward. That's true, you know. I've been into monthly past few years. Because basically what happened was, so in madrasa, so we finished our syllabus, and the students were asking me, can you teach mantiq? So I go, okay. So I taught mantiq in about 6 lessons. And alhamdulillah, so I started thinking to myself, why don't I make something structured, more structured, with lots of examples and application in the real world, like how it works in the real world when you're on a day-to-day basis. And that's where it went off. And I do have a selfish reason, so we're all inshallah. Zaghala Khair, that question was bugging me. You're welcome, my brother. May you share a dua for memorizing Quran to get Hafiza strong. I don't really know, because my Hafiza is not that strong. If I knew that dua, I would have read it myself. I think the best thing to make your memory strong is stay away from sins, number 1. Number 2 is make sure you have good sleep and eat healthy. 3 things, if you do it for 1 month, you'll see your memory is going to become naturally stronger. Okay, Shazib, ahlan wa sahlan, mashallah. Ustad, how are you? Very well, my brother. Are we going to cover all the topics we already did in fiqh muyassar in Quduri next year? No. Well, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving you those to work out yourself. So hopefully next year in Quduri, so guy, by the way, Shazib is one of my students in year 2, full time. And this year we'll be doing fiqh muyassar with them, from nikah onwards. So in Quduri, Shazib, from nikah onwards, I won't be teaching you that. That's something you're going to have to work out yourself. I may give you some recordings for it, but other parts I'll be teaching you. Some parts you're going to have to work out yourself with the aid of my videos. MashaAllah. So I think the people who passed by this channel and asked their ordinary questions will slowly get inclined to learn something on a proper course. Inshallah. Inshallah, I hope so. How much fiqh should be studied before studying books like Nur al-Anwar and Usul Sarakhsi? I would say as long as you've studied Usul Shashi, and as long as you've maybe done like before, see, Nur al-Anwar can be taught alongside with Mat al-Manar. So Mat al-Manar, but if you jump from Usul Sarakhsi, if you jump from Usul Shashi to Nur al-Anwar, I wouldn't see a problem, because I used to do that with students. Advice for the week. Okay, I'm going to finish now, guys. But my advice for the week would be is always have husn al-dhan in other people. Yeah, always think better of other people. Like if you see them do something wrong, as long as it's not something categorically bad, always have something good. Maybe it's because of this they're doing this. Maybe it's because of that. Maybe she's doing this because of this. Always have husn al-dhan and try to develop that in yourself. Sometimes some people are very pessimistic. They'll see someone doing something and their mind always goes towards the negative. Always have something good to think about someone. And that way, when you think good about other people, you start to think good about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. It's like a natural development. Always think good about people, make excuses for them as much as you can. Unless they're doing something categorically wrong. Absolutely, all the scholars agree this is totally wrong and they're doing it openly in public. There's no excuse for them, then that's different. But I would generally say husn. I've seen this a lot of people, especially sometimes even ulama, unfortunately they don't have husn al-dhan. Students of knowledge, they don't have husn al-dhan. Sometimes you see someone and they see something and immediately they'll make a video against them, or they'll say something bad against them, right? Without really kind of clarifying, making, investigation, or having due diligence, or making due diligence regarding. So I think that's probably one of the problems many of us suffer nowadays. Not having husn al-dhan. May Allah give us that. Anyway, guys, the lights in the background have finished, right? Because I actually connected it to a power bank. I need to connect it to the socket, but into a power bank, so the lights have finished in the background. I didn't realize that. All right, guys, take care, inshallah. Have a wonderful week. Inshallah, we'll see you guys on Friday. May Allah keep you guys blessed, happy, and protect you guys from hasad and bad things, and save you from calamities and any problems you're personally going through. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for you guys. Long session today. Alhamdulillah. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. Take care.